Sure. I'm ready whenever you are, Jennifer. Am I ready to go?
Yep, you're ready to go.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, Jennifer, for the introduction. Welcome, Christina. Welcome, Raj. For some of you are watching this live today. For others, you'll be watching this after the event, the recording. But today we're gonna talk a little bit about digital marketing. Let me share my screen so you can see. Oh, Jennifer, can you allow me to share the screen, please? While waiting, maybe I can hear a little bit from those of you here. Christina, who you are, what you do, and how you found us, and what's your background.
I am Christina. I'm a personal brand photographer for business owners.
Okay.
So I work with actually Lily is my tax consultant. So I've been working with her, and since I came into the care program with her. Yeah, and so previously before photography, I used to be a massage therapist. So not a corporate type business owner, but yeah, so learning.
Cool. Well, welcome. Hey, Raj, how about you? Tell us who you are and
Sure. Thanks, Jeff. And so my name's Raja. I'm with Convergence Networks. We're a local managed IT and service provider. Also, we do cybersecurity. We do have a full stack. We work with local businesses, anywhere from nonprofit to healthcare. Yeah, looking forward to this. And yeah, Jeff, I know we've done a couple different networking events. And so that's how we met.
yes. Well, welcome. You guys all can see my screen, right? Are you guys seeing me? Or are you guys seeing the PowerPoint?
The PowerPoint.
Gotcha. Okay. Because Zoom is telling me that I'm sending a different screen to you. So uh okay, so a little bit background about me, and then you see why I'm so excited and passionate about what I do. I came to this country to speak a word of English. I failed every single class, including PE. And somebody was so kind enough to help me overcome my challenge. So I went to get a degree in social work so I can give back to the community. So I worked for the Seattle Housing Authority for many years. During that time, my job was help people get jobs, advance in careers, start a business. One of the group that I supposed to help was young people who got into trouble, juvenile delinquent, help them get a job. Well, how hard could that be, right? Placing somebody have a really bad record into a job. Nobody wanted to hire them. So my wife and I decided we'd start some business to hire these kids. That's what we did. We started a restaurant and cafe in Delhi. We hired a whole bunch of these trouble kids. I bought a website for my businesses. I could not get that company to do what I needed to do. This was back in mid 2000. Technology was booming. Digital marketing was the frontier. I look around, I say, well, it looks like other people have the same challenge as me, other business owners. How hard could it be? What if I go back to school, how to learn how to do this? I did. I was working full time, running a restaurant full time, going back to school full time, 2.5 years. 2.5 years felt like living in hell. I finished it. I came out. Nobody wanted to give me a contract because back then you don't need a marketer to design a website. Anybody can whip out a website, put online, can be found because there's not that many websites online back then. And most of the people design website or people that are working for Boeing, Google, Yahoo, Microsoft, right? Those people that have tech skill. So what did I do? I landed a job at the Kent School District in their IT department, managing the web development team, app development team, digital media. Worked there 14 years, kept my business a side hustle. Business kept growing until 2016, when I need to make a decision whether to quit the school or quit my business because I need to take care of those clients that are growing. Well, I met somebody who introduced me to something called the unfranchised business. I thought was the best thing happened since the bowl of rice because I get to leverage big company to take care of my clients while I was still working with the school because school is so good to me, keep promoting me. I kept working in the school until 2020, May 2020, during the pandemic. You know, one thing the pandemic did, was create this virtual space, right? For people, average people can interact on the virtual space where it used to be only the elites get to. So what that means is the writings on the wall that small business owners need to figure out a way to get online to connect with their prospects or their customers. So that's when I left the school and launched my business full time. Ever since, it has been a great journey. I work with so many wonderful entrepreneurs, Ross like yourself and Lily and many others. And we've done pretty good. We've won numerous awards in the community, and that tells what the community see us. We just brought in 2 more awards this year, just last 2 weeks, one from the Kent Chambers Business of the Year, and we also brought one from the King County Small Business Office as a Minority Business of the Year finalist. So today we're going to talk about digital marketing. What is digital marketing? Some people are afraid to talk about this, and some people are still shun about digital marketing. Basically, it's marketing a product and services using digital channel to reach our consumers. Is it important? Do we need digital marketing? Think about this. Where do people go to get news? Where do they go to socialize, research, find products, find services, play games, get music, get books, and so on, get married, get divorced, find friends, everything, right? Get licensed. Everyone is plugged in. If you think about it, we are all consumers of internet in one way, form, or shape. What does that mean? That means the world is literally online. Business need to figure out a way to connect with their consumers. Not only business, even nonprofit organization. And that's one of our niche too, our focus to help small business and nonprofits, because this pandemic also created a virtual space where people meet, but a lot of people put their resources online, and yet about 25% of people in the country are with some form of disability have no access to those resources. We created enough problem. So we're also here to help solve that problem too. Now, look at this. Every month, there are 10.3 billion searches on Google. 78% of those are for product and services. That is about 8 billion people. 8 billion searches searching for product and service. What if a business that does not have an online presence? That's a big opportunity cost, right? There's a lot of statistics here. Only gonna go through 3 of them. The yellow one on the right, 70% of households now use the internet when they're searching for locally for product and services to buy. Now, we know that in the US, there's about 128 million households. So 7% of that is about 90 million. Okay, that's pretty big. 90 million searches for product services. Imagine a business don't have an online presence. Opportunity lost there. Toward the left there, 86% of searches of those searches that we talk about, the 70%, are converted to a phone call visit to the physical store. That means about 77 million of those searches actually take action, call to action, go find that store, go buy something, okay? And of course, about 88% consumer search are coming from mobile, and when they do that, they go and make call to action in 24 hours, go buy something or go visit the spa or whatever. So that's important data. I understand when we talk about digital marketing, there's so many channels to think about, right? Your brain is like this, oh, so many platforms, social media, websites, Google, Yahoo, and so on, right? It doesn't have to be like that. We can bring it down, simplifies it. There are 2 most important digital marketing channels in this age that every business should have. So put in the chat if you know those, what they are. I love to see our audience participation. Give me some feedback, your background, your knowledge. What do you think those 2 digital marketing channels are that are the most important? It is, of course, website and Google Business Profile. Now, put a little bit attribute into the website. It's about effective website, not just any website. Like I said, it used to be 20, 30 years ago, you whip out any website online, it's going to be found. Not today. There's a lot of go into a website that make it that you can be found online. When we talk about website, uh, there's so many things to consider. It could be overwhelming for many people, and it doesn't have to be. People have to think about, okay, which platform, right? There's WordPress, the Wix, the Squarespace, Weebly, and so on. And what's the cost, right? Which company to choose, So many things to think about. There are three things that you need to know that I believe everybody needs to know about a website. There are three components, three major components. We'll look into that. And they're how to hire the right company, a freelancer. I got so many people come to me that they already got burned because they didn't know how to hire the right company, lost their money, never get their project. And then there's some elements of effective website. When I look at those, building a website is kind of like building a house. You got the infrastructure, the building, the house itself. Once you build it, or you have to find a real estate to build it on. And then once you build the house, sitting on that piece of land, you got to attach an address to it so people can find your house. That's exactly how a website is like. The website itself, you hire somebody to build, is the infrastructure of the house. And then you need to find an internet real estate to sit that house on, to host your website. Then you got to attach that address to your home, your house. That is the domain. That's where .yourbusinessname.com. You got to have all those three in order to make your website work. So those are the three major components. I can't believe how many people come to me and say, oh, I need you to build a website and give it to me and it's going to work. No domain and no hosting. That's not going to work. You got to host somewhere. So very important to know those three. Then how do you hire the right website company or a freelancer? There are 10 attributes that I think we should get that will give you the best results. And that including responsive design, the kind of support you're going to get, do they have backup, uptime, commitment, follow the core web vital updates, SEO, plugin. There's some extras we'll talk about. And you want to look at the portfolio if they're qualified to do your job. And of course, you need to have the access to all your website, your domain, and your hosting as well. Let's take a look at a responsive design. It used to be we have to design website in for the desktop, laptop, tablet, and mobile phone, a different one. But today, with responsive design, you can design one website that's scaled to fit the different format, different platforms. That's how you should be able to do. And if someone comes to you, they can't do that, they're outdated, they're a dinosaur. Okay, so make sure it's responsive design. What about the level of support? You can't have someone that you hire, then when you call them, you have to wait for a week or 2 weeks. And then some of my customers come to me because of that. They have to wait for a month for some update to be done on the website. No, because today the virus and hacks are happening like on daily basis. You need to have your website, mostly the backend, updated on regular basis to make sure that you're protected. So make sure you have access to that person or their team easily instead of waiting for months. Backup. Okay, so I got a customer come to me who just had their website wipe out because there was no backup, right? That's not good because you don't want to spend money to rebuild the entire site. Whoever's hosting your website need to have backup so that if something happened to one, that you can get access to the backup, restore it. We call redundancy. one server goes down, the other one comes on, and be able to keep your website running. So that's important to know. Make sure that they offer the kind of backup you can access your old website when you need it. No contracts. All right, so we have people come to us that are stuck in a contract for 18, 24 months. Even if they don't like the company, they get stuck with it. Today's world, you should be able to get servers with no contract, like month to month. That way, if you don't like that company, don't like the guy or the gal, you can leave. For us, we don't have a contract. We do month to month. We believe that we provide good enough services that when people experience our service, they want to stay with us. So there's no need for us to tie people into a contract. This is very important. Core Web Vital was released by Google 2021 June, and that changed the whole industry, how the website should be structured, should be built. For example, it used to be your website load 10 seconds, that's good enough. That's considered fast enough. Not anymore. Today, it needs to be 2.5 seconds. And then, of course, you can't have all this bells and whistles that are flashy and shaky when someone land on your website. Google consider that is not good. So like I usually have a lot of animations on my website. Well, unfortunately, I have to turn all those off because Google won't rank my website anymore. So the designer need to be able to build your website, follow the core web vitals so that your website can be crawled by Google. Search engine optimization is important. So your platform need to be engineered for SEO. If you don't have the platform is not provided allow you to do that, you're going to have to buy a tool to plug in. We call it plugin, so that you can do optimization on your website, which is an additional money. And then, of course, the more plugins you have, there's more problems you have, because we're going to talk about next, which is plugins. When websites has a lot of plugins, it slows the loading time. And secondly, is probably to be the first one, is when the plugins outdated, the driver's outdated, you are vulnerable for hacking or viruses. Basically, plugin is another tool from third party that connect to your website. And oftentimes the website platform got updated, third party tool is not updated. Therefore, it can't communicate. There's a break in between. Then there's vulnerability for hacking. I have a customer who came to me exactly the same problem like this. One day she went to her website. It was nothing but codes. Her content was gone. So we were able to go in and take a look at the website. Was somebody hack into and install a virus on her website, and we have to do some damage control to find her content and clean it up and rebuild the website for her. We don't need that. So make sure you have ability to protect yourself. Less plugins, better. So this is kind of a whole bunch of stuff here. We call them extras. These are not the deal breakers, but it's important to know. Now, everybody in their own website, the goal is to get the most traffic to the website possible, right? Because the more traffic, meaning more leads, also mean Google also gives you brownie points when you have a lot of traffic hitting your website. So you rank higher. But a lot of providers tell you that if you have more traffic, they're going to charge you more money. That's not good, because that's kind of against your will, against your goal that you want to do. So you want to look for platforms or a company that offer you unlimited pages. For example, once they launch the site, you can copy the branding page to unlimited. Some of them only give you so many pages, and if you want more, you got to pay more. You shouldn't have to do that, right? You should have the ability to make unlimited changes to your website and unlimited traffics and unlimited storage and support that you need. So look at those extras that usually are hidden but could come back and bite you, because I have many customers come to me realizing 2 years, 3 years later, they're growing their business and now they get more traffic. They need more pages and more changes, end up they have to pay more now because they didn't know that before. The other thing we want to look at is their portfolio in terms of effective website. Hiring the right designer. We believe that if you can help other people, you should be able to help yourself, right? This is actually a web design company for small business, farmers, and nonprofit. Now, if you land on this website, would you hire this person to design your website? Probably not, right? There's nothing there to show that they have any designing skills, but there are people out there. Here's another one. A literal legitimate web design company that are people buying websites from them. Can you believe it? You can't, but there are people buying from them. So now this one looks good, right? We got all the portfolio of different designs, and I probably will call this one and say, hey, I saw you got some whole bunch of samples that I'd like to see what you can do for me. So look at the portfolio. If they can do it for themselves at a really good one, possibly they can do good for you. If they can't do it themselves, then probably not. One of our motto is we're ranked #1 in Kent in web design, SEO, and social media management. We can help local business to get there because we have been there in terms of ranking on Google. So sure that people walk their talk. Full access. This is really, really important. I have many people come to me. They got locked out. They hire somebody in remote places to build their website, host their website, and they can't access to it. And some people, unfortunate circumstances, the freelancer got ill, or during COVID, this happens a lot. They can't have access to their website. That's not good. I always tell my clients, if I win the lottery and I go to the Mars with Elon Musk, you don't have to worry because there are teams that can help you that will give you access to your website. Besides, when we build the website, we launch the website, we give our client full access to their website. We empower them to, we even train them to utilize their website. So you want to be able to have full access to your domain, to your hosting, and your website backend. Very important. Okay. So those are the things that have to do with finding the right company on the right web designer when you want to hire them. The next part we want to talk about is actually the elements of effective website. We have about, it says 8. I believe I have 10. Never mind. So whatever's on here, we're going to talk about what's on here. So there are 8 of them: search engine optimization, mobile friendly, responsive design. We kind of talk about that. User friendly, customer journey, loading time, brand consistency, content accurate, and update, and security. So some of these are kind of what we talked about earlier. You notice that search engine optimization is bold, right? Boldface. There's a reason for that, because the rest of the 7 are tied to SEO. Everything is about SEO today because the goal of everybody should be, any business to have website is make a marketing tool. If you're developing website and not for marketing tool, I think it's just a waste of money because you just be in cyberspace. Nobody can find you. The only time they can find you if you give the URL to them. Most people don't even want to go there to look at it unless they're interested in you. So we need to find some way to interest people first, and has to do with marketing. So SEO, search engine optimization. Your website must be built, or the platform need to be engineered for search engine optimization, so that later when you do optimization, it will work together with your website, your Google Business Profile, we'll talk about a little bit later, and help your overall business have enhanced online presence. So SEO is very important, making sure that website is built for that. Not only optimized, but the platform must be engineered for SEO. Mobile friendly, responsive design. So earlier when we talk about different platforms, today's world, you should be able to build using a platform scale to fit the different one. Why that is important? When people Google a term on a mobile device, Google only recommends websites that are mobile friendly or responsive design. Think about this. If I Google accounting services, and if your website is not responsive design or mobile friendly, you won't show at all, even though it's the best website in the world. Now, 40% abandoned site if it takes too long to load. We talked about loading times important. 67% more likely to purchase from a mobile-friendly site, because about 80% of the user, according to data in the US, are using mobile phone to access the internet. 74% are more likely to revisit mobile-friendly site. So that is critical to make sure it's built that way. User-friendly UI, UX, and user interface. Simplicity, modern versus convention, web accessibility, interactive. So simplicity, there are people out there created, and they build a website that could be overwhelming for a visitor. Visitor want easy access to information. So simplicity is important. That doesn't mean your website has to be plain. It could be simple, but comprehensive. Convention and versus modern. This is when you have to know your audience well. If your audience are older people, of course, you need to use some conventional style versus modern style. Some older folks get bogged down with the style that you scroll down long, things like that. And web accessibility is important because for two reasons. One, I mentioned earlier that 25% of the US population has some form of disability, and more content being put online, but only about 8% of the websites in the world are web accessible, meaning accessible by people with disability. We are literally excluding that 25% of the population. So inclusivity is important. Secondly, Google likes websites that are accessible. So if you have some form of web accessibility tool on your website or coded that is accessible, it's better. Interactive. Have to create the website with some interactivities. Today, you should have a pop-up or a chatbot of some form. There is a conversational chatbot available that you can install on your website. Like if you go to my website, you're literally talking to a bot, but think like you're talking to me to a point, provide you information, price, and schedule an appointment and all that stuff. So that will help people to stay longer on your website. Again, Google counts your visit if people stay on your website about 30 seconds or longer. Give you brownie points for that. Number 4 is customer journey. Okay, so look at the website on the left and on the right. On the left is the old site. When you land there, you kind of don't know what to do there, right? That's actually a seafood restaurant website. So they weren't getting any conversion. We came in and was like, okay, let us do you some different. We redesigned the website. We give them the one on the right. I get hungry looking at that lobster already, right? That dish. And then right after the lobster, right below that, we say, it's on sale, it's special, dining room special for $19.99, right? So we want to call to action right there, right below that. Let's call customer journey. We have to lead customer to do something. And this is really important on the website because people go there and they get lost, they get bogged down, and then left, they don't do anything. That's called bouncing. The higher bounce rate on your website, Google gonna drop your website. It's not gonna crawl. So we want to minimize any bounce rate. We want to create interaction, customer journey, and call to action, get people to stay on your website longer. Effective website number 5 had to do with loading time. We talked about that earlier, so I'm not going to spend too much time here. Basically, now your website must load in 2.5 seconds. It's above that. Pretty soon, Google's not going to crawl your website anymore, and that's just their requirement. And Google releases major updates every 6 months. And most of that affecting like the Google business profile, your ranking and all that. So it's important to know that your platform also follows the guidelines of the core Web Vital. Content consistent branding, this is number 6. So when you design, and now this is the beauty of responsive design, is when you design a website for a desktop, it carries that branding across laptop, tablet, and mobile phone. Versus if you design different one, then you have to redesign all those branding. It is important to have your branding consistency across the different platforms on digital devices and on print marketing material, because statistically, people have to see your ad or your branding 8 times, 7 different ways before they remember you. Think about Super Bowl commercial, right? You see Coke commercial. People don't get up and go buy a Coke, right? When they see a Coke commercial, right? The reason they want you to do the commercial on that is they want to show you 8 times. Then you remember when you walk out there, when you go to Burger King, you ask for Coke. They say, is Pepsi okay? You still ask for Coke. That's why, because they implant that in your head because you saw it 8 times. Effective website element number 7 has to be content. So this is also after the core Web Vital release. This is becoming even more important. Google now, the robot is smarter, is scanning your website for certain things. Number 1, is your website accurate? What does that mean? That means it's going to check your professional in LinkedIn and other places, and then check your website to see the content is actually represent you in your profession. And it's also look at to see if your website's up to date. As a matter of fact, we just had a call before this workshop with the SEO expert that Google now is looking for fresh content all the time to see if you stay up to date and relevant. And the relevancy part is, it used to be, you probably heard of this keyword stuffing. You throw a whole bunch of keywords on your website, it's going to show up in Google. Not anymore. So Google's looking for the title tag and a title on your website. It's actually read the content now and look at the content to see it also represents what the title says. And it's also checked to see this content matches your profile elsewhere to set yourself up as expert in the industry. It's also looking to see if the content on the website says enough about you as the expert. Now think about this. Google's job is to deliver the result to the people searching as fast as possible, right? If you were Google, how would you tackle that task when there are millions of websites that you have to sift through? So what Google's doing is start putting criteria on those websites. As those websites do not meet those criteria, it's dropping those websites. This is why SEO, search engine optimization work, used to be one-time deal. You optimize your website, you're done. You never had to do it again because you're going to show up on search engine. Not anymore. Nowadays, it has to be a monthly activity that you do to continue to stay number 1 on Google, or number 2 and number 3, wherever your ranking position is. Security. All right. So this is critical. Number 8 is security. Number 1 thing you want to make sure that you have on your website is make sure you are hosting on a server, a hosting company that provide you a secured location. Often, most of the hosting sites will give you SSL certificate. Some don't. They require you to go get your own. If you happen to be on a hosting location that does not provide the SSL certificate, you can always purchase from your domain registrar. And it is critical to have at least one. If you don't have it in the hosting, get it from your domain. And then you have to go install it on your hosting location. How do you check? When you go to your website, you either have one or two things. You either show HTTPS :// then your URL. That means you in a secure on a secure server, or there's a little lock on the left side of your URL. That means you are secure. If you do have a security software on your computer, it will tell you that site is not secure. It will let you know. SSL is a secure socket layer certificate. It's a code that you install that usually comes with the hosting company, as I mentioned, or from your registrar on your website's hosting location that will, when other people come to your website, it tells them this website is verified secure, so that your website, if your e-commerce is most importantly to make sure that people can do transaction on your website without jeopardizing their data. So it's very important to make sure that website is secure. So that's the first part. Okay, the website, the number one most important digital marketing channel. You must have a website, but not only website, an effective website to make it work for you. And from my opinion, a website should be built as a marketing tool, because if it doesn't, it won't do much good. Just spend money. That's it. It got to bring you some revenue, and it can if you've done it right. And it does require a little bit more than it used to be. And we talk about that. And I'm happy to provide consultation to answer any questions about the website. So this next part is very short. It has to do with Google Business Profile. Now, some of us are at our age, we remember the yellow page, right? The phone book, the white page and the yellow page. Every business would like to get a full page ad on yellow page back then, because when someone flipped to that page, they don't see anybody else but you, right? And that was important back those days. Today, those books don't come anymore. They come in the form of digital book, which is Google. Google Business Profile is like, if you do it right, it's like having one full page ad on the yellow page back then, and it is free. So if someone tell you that you have to pay for Google Business Profile, that is a scam. It's not real. You don't have to pay for it. Let's see what it is. So Google Business Profile used to call Google My Business, and it is a tool that enables small business owners to manage and enhance their online presence on Google. It is a free and powerful tool for local marketing, helping their business improve visibility, reach more customers, optimize their online presence on Google Maps and Google Search. I'll talk about that in a little bit. With this tool, business can engage with customers, showcase their business, gain insights about their customers, and local search performance, rank various metrics. Now, when we search on Google, there are a couple of things happening. Google's actually piecing 3 different apps together, but we don't know that on the front end. It just search and get a result. Well, Google's actually searching the map, searching the search engine to look for that topic. And those can be linked to your listing online, your map location, and your website. So there are a number of things that are happening there. It's important to know how those connect, and when you build a profile, it can help you show better. And it's also the last paragraph there. It is a place that you can use it almost like a website and social media. Okay, it's pretty powerful. Know how to use it. Statistically, you can increase your business by 10% by fully optimize your Google Business Profile. Now, about 64% of the people looking for services actually coming from Google Business Profile. Think about this. For those businesses don't have Google Business Profile, you miss about 64% of the audience. Shoppers using Google for research on purchase, both in store and online. There are about 59% of those using Google Business Profile. website visits from Google Business Profile to the visit from to the website, 56% of that coming from Google Business Profile. So if you have a website, it's really good to have the profile. Local listing discovery, 1,000 times per month. If you're on Google Business Profile, 34% of the chance you get about 1,000 times more on visit or discover on your business. Now, about 16% have 100 calls more per month coming from their Google Business Profile. And of course, appointment requests, 45% of that coming from Google Business Profile. Now, why is that so important? Because people go to Google and search, right? If your website show up or don't show up, if you have Google Business Profile, your profile show up first, and that's when people click for business. So it is important to have there, and think about this. If you can increase your business by 10% without having to pay for advertising, and this is one way to do it, make sure you optimize your Google Business Profile. Now, there are just other benefits here that you can take a screenshot if you like. It's hard to explain in detail on all these, but I think they're pretty explanatory. When you have, we call it a GBP, you create that first impression to the business. When they land on Google, they see your profile, right? You enhance your ability to be discovered in the local area. And having Google Business Profile is the number one. Having optimized Google Business Profile is the number one factor for local ranking for SEO. In case you didn't know, that's very critical to know. Right now, we are getting to the point that we even have a customer changing their business names because how important Google Business Profile is in terms of ranking. We went through a business name changing because of this. We wanted to stay number one, and we found that if we change the business name to match Google's categories, we will remain number one. Even though other people are rising up, we can still stay on top. Accurate information. Usually people go to Google Profile to look for your information. When you have accurate information there, most likely you get more calls and contact. Convenience for customer. Again, they use that first. Trust and credibility. They go to Google to see your Google review. That's one big factor for contributing ranking. Of course, we talk about customer engagement and learn about your customers. Why wouldn't you, right? The more you know how to market to them. You can control your brand. Did you know that if you don't create Google Business Profile and Yelp profile, other people can create it for you? And that usually is a bad news, because then you have to go claim it. Usually somebody use your service, they don't like it, they complain. Then they go create a profile on you. Now you have to go claim it. So you want to control your brand, right? You want to create your own. You can showcase the product and services in Google Profile. You can upload your product, your services, descriptions, and everything, and it serves as your website. Again, that's kind of like free advertising right there. And if your competitor don't have Google Business Profile and you do, you gain competitive edge over them. I'm not going through this in detail. You can take a screenshot if you don't have one. The important thing is if you already have, if you don't have Google Profile, check to see if you already listed. How you got listed is important. Either someone created for you, then you need to go claim it right away so that no further damage can be done on you. If you don't have one, create one to avoid someone else create it on your behalf. And of course, optimizing your Google Profile. You just need to fill out the right information, get your product services up there, and high quality photos, gather reviews. Reviews are number one factor now for ranking. And we are working very hard with our customers on that part, because we see that adding 5 reviews can bump on top of your competitor. So it's so important. So this is just a checklist how you can properly set up your Google business profile. Again, take screenshot and feel free to reach out to me if you have any question. I want to leave some time at the end for question and answer. So the last part I kind of went fast there. Anybody have any questions or comments? Either I did really bad, or I did really good. I don't hear anybody have any questions. Any thought, any comments, any questions? Well, let me ask this. Was any information there that new to you? Was there any aha moments? I like to hear. You can put in the chat or you can just unmute and shout out. No? Well, in that case, I think I left too much time for Q&A. Usually my previous classes, there were a lot of questions, so I always have to kind of give enough time for us to explain or provide additional information to answer those questions. But since we don't have any, Jennifer, I'm going to turn this back to you.
Okay, I'd like to thank you for joining us for today's Care Expert session. Just a reminder, hold on one moment, to go to our website for any additional information and any upcoming events, and that will be at thecaremastermind.com. And it will tell you the next events that we have and the next expert session that we have. Thank you, Jeff. I think you did a great job. A lot of useful information there.
Thank you, and have a wonderful day. Nice to meet
Okay.
you, Christina, and you as well, Jennifer. Take care.
Thank you so much for taking the time. Thank you. Bye-bye.